Give it a go. So my name's Paul Burton. I'm Professor of Urban Planning and Management at Griffith University and Director of the Cities Research Institute there. And we are halfway through our Planners Hit the Streets study tour, which is part of the PIA National Congress this year here in the city of Gold Coast. City of Gold Coast is a really interesting place, 6th largest city in the country, has been one of the fastest growing places for the last 30 or 40 years and is likely to continue to grow. So that growth presents a lot of challenges for planners. How does the city grow without losing and spoiling the very things that make it attractive? So we've got great beaches, we've got great rainforests in the hinterland, we've got a good climate. The climate may be changing, but probably not too dramatically. But our beaches are a bit vulnerable to increasingly frequent and severe weather events. And if that happens, if we lose our beaches, then that causes a serious hit to the Gold Coast economy. So we're doing quite a bit of work on how to make our beaches and coastal areas more resilient. The other thing is how we can try and channel and contain growth within the existing urban footprint. So what we don't really want to do is to accommodate a growing population by spreading further and further out into the hinterland, because that will be taking not necessarily really good farmland, but land that's of high environmental quality, forest areas, rainforest areas that we simply don't want to lose. So we need to try and contain that growth within the city, which is good in theory, but in practice it's difficult. It's a challenge for developers, because rather than having big, broad hectare sites to work with, they're looking at smaller sites, fragmented ownership, complicated infrastructure. It's just more difficult and more expensive to build infill, but that's what we've got to do. So having a planning system that protects but also enables development and tries to ensure that it's of the highest architectural and urban design standards, that's what the city's trying to do. And I would say they've done a pretty good job over the years. It used to be a city renowned for no planning. That was never really the case, but it was always very light touch. Now it's much more sophisticated. Some people would say that it's become more heavy-handed and rigid, and that may be the case, but then if you didn't have those regulations and controls, then I think the place would be a lot worse than it is now. You'd see more congestion, you'd see more sprawl, you'd see more areas that are difficult to provide infrastructure to, and you'd see a decrease in livability. So we're constantly struggling with and wrestling with those challenges. But I think the city's up for that challenge, has been for some years, and the fact that we're hosting the PIA National Congress here is a testament to the fact that we see ourselves as a centre of good planning practice.